Hi. I don't know what the weather's been like in your part of the world this summer, but in Nashville, Tennessee, it has been very, very hot. And when we have days on end of hot, sticky weather, I like everything else around me to be light and easy. I like lighter clothes, lighter bedding, lighter meals, and lighter books. Hi, my name is Pam Lamp. I write a blog called Who I Met Today, where I interview people who do interesting things that I want to learn more about. I'd love to have you follow along. I also write a monthly post for our 60andMe community on books that I've read and enjoyed and think you might like too. And this month I have 5, I'll call them beachish reads. They're still great stories, great plots, but just a little bit lighter and not as complicated and don't require quite as much concentration on our part. The first one is called Nora Goes Off Script. It's by Annabelle Monahan, and I just didn't want this book to end. It was a great story as far as I'm concerned, and I can picture it as a movie someday. If you're a fan of the Hallmark Channel, Nora Hamilton, the character in the book, is a writer for the Romance Channel. So she has a standard formula, and all her books have happy endings. And then she writes the best screenplay of her career, a book about her divorce. The movie is filmed in her home. A big sexy star plays her loser husband, and life takes a different turn. So I think that you will really like this happy, feel-good book, or at least I hope you do. The next one is called True Biz, B-I-Z. It's by Sarah Novick. And this was the first time that I had ever read a book about the deaf community. The author, Sarah, is deaf herself, and she often found, or most of the time found, that when she read a book, it was never about people like her. So this book has, all the characters are deaf, and she wanted readers that do hear to feel like they were the different sort of person. I'm not sure that makes sense, but hopefully you know what I mean. The book takes place at a boarding school for deaf high schoolers. The headmistress is hearing, but she has deaf parents. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful perspective and look into the deaf community. They talk a lot about sign language and cochlear implants and students that live with one hearing parent or both hearing parents or a hearing sibling. I just thought it was so interesting and a good story too. So I highly recommend that one. The Truth About Ben and June by Alex Keister is the story of a young married couple. Ben wakes up in the morning, his baby is crying, he can't get her to stop, and he can't find his wife. His wife has disappeared without a trace. So it's a story of Ben tracking down his wife. She gave up her dance career, which she'd worked very, very hard on, to have a baby. And he knew that she was having some doubts about that. I enjoyed the story very much. I think young moms will really relate to it because it's about the exhaustion that you have, the utter exhaustion when you're caring for another person in a home and your family, and lack of communication that you might have with your spouse or your partner. It was a very different book. June, the wife's portion, was told through letters that she wrote to her deceased mom, which was an interesting angle. So I hope you'll take a look at that. The next book is called Let's Not Do That Again by Grant Grinder. And he's written some fun things, including The People We Hate at the Wedding, which is coming soon to a theater near you. Supposed to be released in 2022. And I did not read that book, so I'll have to read it before the movie comes out. I always like to read them in that order, the book and then the movie. Anyway, in the story, Nancy has taken over her deceased husband's congressional seat, and now she's going to run for Senate. She wasn't always around for various reasons when her kids were growing up, but now she needs them. And they are floundering a bit as adults. The daughter does not have a good relationship with the mom and has gotten involved with some shady people. The son is trying to figure out what he wants in his life and is writing a musical. It's a little bit of an outlandish plot and story, but it's smartly done, and I really enjoyed it. Quick moving, page turner. The author is a former political aide, so there were some interesting political references in there, and I hope that you might enjoy that. And then the last one I have is called The Perfect Neighborhood by Liz Alterman. And Liz has written a successful young adult novel before, but this is her first foray into the adult novel genre. And I think she did a good job. Another reminder that we never know what's behind those beautifully painted front doors or the picket fences that go around the front yard. An actress model, kind of a celebrity, leaves her home in the middle of the night. And the Oak Hill neighborhood tongues start wagging and speculation abounds as to why she could leave her former rock star husband. And then the neighbors stop talking about her because a 5-year-old boy disappears. He was walking home from kindergarten and never made it home. Now, the first question you're probably all going to ask is, why is a 5-year-old walking home alone? And again, the tongues start wagging. Speculation, was it the former nanny? Was it the stepbrother? Was it the mom? Et cetera, et cetera. Then another child goes missing. But I want to tell you, the missing children point may be a turnoff for some readers, but, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but that's okay. There was never a point in the novel that I thought something awful was going to happen. I always knew that everything was going to turn out okay. It's not that kind of a book. So I thought it was great. I saw a lot of people I know in the neighbors of Oak Hill. So I hope that you find something in this list that you might like to read. I also hope that you'll comment about the books that you recommend or you've enjoyed this summer. And one more thing, I hope that you'll follow along on my blog. I send out a newsletter with a people story and some book recommendations, other fun things that I've learned about through readers or just through experiences, and it comes out every 2 weeks. So thanks very much, happy reading, and stay cool wherever you are.